Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Well, today we are gonna do the Q&A, and normally I do this outside, but today I'm gonna do it in the car because I actually dropped my GoPro mount put it in on the tripod, and it broke, so I have to order a new GoPro attachment. And until that has arrived, I can't use the tripod for the GoPro. So that's why we do it this way. So yeah, we are gonna start with the Q&A questions that I posted. Actually, oh, it's already 2 weeks ago. I actually completely forgot that it was that long ago. I'm going to open the door because it gets hot here rather quickly. But we only have 7 questions this time, so I'm going to put a little bit more effort in all the questions and take my time to answer them. So the first one is from Edel Papagai. Do you know someone with an engine damage at a 114i due to the stage 1 tune? I know people who have damaged their N13 engine because first of all, the 114, the 116 and the 118i and also the 120i facelift from 2015 all share the same N13 engine. So it doesn't really matter if it's only specific a 114 or 116i. But yeah, I have people seen with a damaged engine. The problem is we don't know how well those cars are maintained. I actually only know from one guy who actually had a 1 series with only 45,000 kilometers, 116i, and his engine just went toast after 45,000 kilometers. And it wasn't tuned, he wasn't driving it extremely hard, it was just fucked. So, you know, those things can happen. And the other engines that I saw that were broken, we don't know how well they are maintained or not, because you have to drive them warm before you floor it, do regular oil changes, let the turbo cool down and stuff like that. And not everyone who tuned their car does that, and so they damage their engine. But I am driving for almost 40,000 kilometers on this stage 1 tune. And I have known other guys who also run 250-60-ish horsepower on this engine without any problems because they maintain it well. So I would just say, if you want to tune your N13 engine, just do it, but just maintain it well, and that will, save you a lot of problems, because, bad engine maintenance plus tuning is disaster. And that's a problem. The N13 engine is a fairly common engine, and a lot of young people tune them and don't maintain them right, and that's why you hear the stories of N13 engines going bad. But if you do it good, you should be fine. It doesn't mean that you can't have any problems. It can always occur, but you should be fine most of the times. Okay, so next question is from Niels Sovar. Diesel or petrol, and why? Pros and cons. Well, I always had petrol in my BMWs. My first car was an Audi A3, which actually was a diesel. I would say it depends on how many kilometers that you do. I always used to say petrol because the sound, a petrol engine sounds very, very nice. But the thing is, a diesel is way better on fuel, and it's actually cheaper to fuel up here in Belgium, at least. And in other countries like the Netherlands, it's even worse. Yeah, the sound ain't that great from a diesel. So it really depends on what your habits are, what region you are in. If you're like, I want torque down low, I do 40,000 kilometers a year, then I would definitely go for a diesel. If you only do like 10,000 kilometers and you like a good revving car with a nice sound, I would say go for the petrol. You know, the petrol is a more fun car. The diesel has a lot of torque and is more economical, but they get taxed more because, you know, the government is retarded and they think that diesels are bad, and that's why a lot of regions start to tax on diesel cars. Because, you know, a lot of government people don't know shit about cars, yet they tax them because they are stupid. Yeah, so yeah, at the end of the day, I think I would go for the petrol just because of the nice sound and the higher revs. I just like that a little bit more. But, you know, daily driving a diesel, I would, you know, do that like a 125D, and then with the stage 1 tune, it's better on fuel than this car and it's a lot faster. So I wouldn't dislike it, to say the least. Okay, so Tate, I think is his name, asks me, what is your end goal when it comes to the amount of horsepower for your car? So now we are running around 220-ish horsepower, and I still want an intercooler, a downpipe, a boost pipe, charge pipe, and diverter valve. And with all those modifications, we should be pushing around 250 horsepower. And that's really like the safe limit on this car. So 240, 250-ish horsepower would be, you know, a great number for me to have as end result. You can also do a turbo upgrade on this car, but then you have to really do internals and stuff like that, and then it gets rather expensive rather quickly. So I would say 250-ish horsepower would be, you know, the end game, because I raise a lot of people and I always get beaten by a very, very small amount. But it's also due to my, you know, semi-slicks. But, you know, they beat me just, you know, with very small amounts. So an extra 20-30 horsepower should be enough to gain on them again. So yeah, that's what, so yeah, 250-ish horsepower should be the end goal for my car. Then the next one is from Tankist What? Sorry if I say it wrong, but that's really a tongue twister. Do you prefer the F2021 design of the 2012-2015 or 2015-2019? So the facelift or the pre-facelift? I already answered that question last time, and I'm, you know, staying with that. On the non-M package, so the 1 Series without an M pack, I like the facelift more. So the 1 Series pre-facelift with the non-M package is my least favorite appearance of the 4. But then if you look at the 1 Series pre-LCI or LCI with the M package, I think it's a close call, but I think that the front of the pre-facelift looks more aggressive because the bumper is like, has more, you know, rectangle shape in them. So I think they are a little bit more aggressive. So I tend to like these a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I think they're a very close call. So I like them both, and I think it depends on how you tune your car with front lip or stuff like that. So yeah, I would say no, the non-M package is definitely the facelift version, but with the M package, it's a draw. It's a draw. I really can't decide. But yeah. Okay, so next one is from Mads Beamer, who also has a YouTube channel. Surely to check him out. He does a lot of informative stuff on cars. He asked me, can you give us the information about going to the ring, cost, the routine, and check and needs to be done? So the things that you gotta do, you first have to get a ticket, and before the whole Corona thing, it was a little bit different, but now you have to go to the Nürburgring website, and you can order tickets there for the Touristenfahrten, if I say it right. And then you can buy a certain amount of tickets, and then you get a QR code on your phone and you can just scan it. Or if you pay like €5 extra, you can get a card, and that will be connected to, it will be like, you know, a credit card, but it will be connected to your account, and then if you put money on it, it will be on this card, and then you can just, you know, you have to go to the, you know, the entrance of the track, and then you just scan your card and you can go inside. It's easy. You just have to know where you have to be. And what is the price of that? So during the week, from Monday through Friday, it's like €25 for one lap. In the weekends, it's €30 because the weekends are more profitable for them because more people go track their car in the weekend, so that's why it's more expensive in the weekend. And checks that need to be done to the car, well, definitely if you go to the track, like any track, not especially the Nürburgring, you have to check that your car is in good condition. So just check that it had its oil change. Don't do it when your oil change is overdue. Be sure that your brakes and discs still have a healthy amount of tread in them, because if they're almost gone on the track, they really go really easy. So I would say check that you have enough brake tread left. Check your oil level. You don't want to go track your car when your oil level is too low. Check your tires. If your tires are bald, you shouldn't do a track day, so be sure that your tires are in good condition. And just see that the rest of the car is in good condition. If your engine is malfunctioning or has a little hiccup or something, just get it checked out before you do that. And also just make sure that you have a little bit of money aside. If you break anything or you crash the car, it can get expensive quickly. And also check your suspension, that your coilovers are not leaking oil, because with a bad coilover, you definitely don't want to track your car. So check the brakes, the suspension, and the tires, and also make sure that your tires have the right amount of tire pressure in them. If you track your car, your tires get really hot, and you don't want the maximum amount of pressure in them. You just want to lower it a little bit, because when they get hot, air expands, and then your tire actually will have more pressure in them. You can always fill them up later, and it will give you more traction. Okay, so that's really it for it's more actually any track day, I would say. So next question is from Onol Ozuluka. Do you have a mail that we can reach you? We journal more about F20s in Turkey. I have a personal email, but I use it actually for personal things, so emailing to that will... It's not that I won't answer it, but a lot of emails that I get, I never check. So the best thing to do is, if you want to contact me, is to send me a PM on Instagram. On my Instagram page is called Bimmer Belgium, exactly the same as my YouTube page. Send me a DM there and I will always answer your question. So yeah, get on Instagram, because my email address, I never check them actually. No, it's full with spam from all that porn. No, it's not true, but yeah. So yeah, send me a DM on Instagram if you need some information. The next question, and also the last one, is from Yaozu, I think. Why do you like BMW so much? Any other cars you also like? So yeah, I am, a BMW fan, but I also do like other car brands. There is not a real major car brand that I really dislike. I'm not a fan of Honda or Volkswagen, because I don't think they have like that much interesting cars. But like I can appreciate like the first Golf GTI or an old school Honda NSX or S2000. So I can appreciate those cars, but I definitely don't appreciate the Civics with the Ford can. But in general, I do like cars. All cars. Sports cars, hatchbacks, coupes. I just like them all, and I got actually introduced to the BMW brand just because I bought one as my other 1 Series. It was just a 1 Series. And why was it a BMW? Because back then I actually wasn't a BMW fan like I am now. I became a fan of BMW because I owned a BMW. It's just as easy as that. But why did I get the 1 Series back then? Well, it was very simple. My budget back then, so like in 2017, allowed a hatchback from 10-12 years old. That was it. It allowed a car from that area, and I wanted a hatchback, and I actually was picking between a 1 Series and an Audi A3, purely because of the looks. And it was a German car, German brand, blah blah blah. I always drove a front-wheel driven car before that, and I didn't dislike front-wheel drive back then, but I didn't know that much about driving. But then actually I got the 1 Series, and it was rear-wheel drive, but it wasn't because of it was rear-wheel drive that I bought it. It was just because of the looks. I liked the looks of the car, and that's why I bought it. And then when I got the car and I was driving, I felt like, whoa, this 1 Series, this car steers very nice. It steers a lot better than my previous car and a lot of other cars that I have driven. And then, in the rain, when I started to slide and practice the rear-wheel drive a little bit, I was like, okay, I like rear-wheel drive cars a lot more than front-wheel driven cars. But I also love hatchbacks. And if you love rear-wheel drive and you love hatchbacks, there's actually only one car that you can get. That's truly, there's only one modern rear-wheel driven hatchback. And that's 1 Series. It's just the case. And that's why I said that the successor of my old 1 Series has to be a 1 Series again. So yeah, that's how I ended up with this car. So yeah, that's actually why I like BMW that much. But really, like in the hatchback segment, I really do like an Audi RS3, Ford Focus RS, gorgeous car, and also the new A45S from Mercedes-Benz is also a very gorgeous car. But in my opinion, it's way too expensive for a hatchback. I mean, would you spend 90,000 euro on 2.04 cylinder hatchback? I won't. You can get an M2 competition for that money. So yeah, I know what I would rather spend my money on. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. Those were all the questions. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions left for me, just leave them down below. I will do a Q&A next month, and it's starting to thunder. Oh dear. If we're gonna get a hailstorm, then I'm happy that my car is underneath. But yeah, we are gonna get a little bit of lightning and thunder. Hooray. Anyway, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Bye.